Hey, Jim. All right, guys. So Gerald is not here today, and I'm not going to be talking about the market and its conditions. I'm just going to go through how I build my watch list and what I'm looking for. Most of you already know that I mainly trade from 9:30, which is the market open, to 10:30. The main setup which I'm trading, setups which I'm trading are breakouts. So let me mute my phone. Breakouts and ABCD pattern. ABCD pattern is basically a trend continuation. So I build my watch list in a way that I can find the best stocks to trade first, the breakout, which is the first setup which happens throughout the day, and then trend continuation if I don't find a setup. I don't use the gappers list to find this, to build my list. I do include the gappers list. Let me show you that. Where is the gappers list? There it is. So there is the gappers list. And what I'm doing is I mainly just add it at the end of my list, and I take a look at it at the end. The reason I don't love to use the gappers list a lot is because sometimes stocks, they just gap up so much above the average true range move. For example, this one gapped somewhere around 30 cents, gapped down around 30 cents. And the average true range of this thing somewhere around 40 cents. So it has like 10 cents more to run. The way I build my watch list is I check the pattern on the 60-minute chart and the daily chart, and I include the average to range to see if we have room to run to the favorable direction. So let's go through that quickly. AAL. AAL is not the best potential for my watch list, and the main reason for that is we're kind of strong with the daily chart. Yesterday's candle had a bigger upper wick, so we're more likely to sell off today, at least a little bit, but I don't want to take it to the short side because of the fact that we're having a strong moving average below us. So this stock, I'm not interested in a long in it, and I'm not really interested in a short in it, though I'm a little bit more favorable to the short side than to the long side. Apple. Apple, on previous days, it was interesting to trade for a short, but the moment we hit these 200 moving average in the daily chart, I'm no longer interested in it to the short side. Why is that? If I zoom this thing out, you will see how these 200 moving average is being respected for many times, especially from March, and now we're sitting at it exactly. We could definitely just go below the 124 level today, break down, and maybe sell off to 123. But at the same time, we could bounce out of this level and squeeze up today before the break, which could happen maybe in the later few days. I have only 2 opportunities to trade because my macro is 2 hours, and I try to pick the stocks which look the best so that I can get to my goal or get to green in 2 trades maximum. ACB. Same thing on ACB. Not really interested in this thing. Overall, it was kind of pulling back. Yesterday, we had a red candle. After a red candle, I expect to have another red candle to the downside. But again, a lot of supports below us, and I'm not really sure where from it will exactly bounce. So not going to watch ACB today. AG. AG is just ugly. There is no clear direction to 60. The daily we had a shooting star. We could fill the gap today and we could just continue. So not really favorable to any direction around here. AMD. AMD, honestly, a little bit more short buys than long buys. I like the fact that we're having a tight range around here, a clear level to break. And if we break this level, we could easily fill the gap. And that's a move of around 40 or 50 cents. And then I really don't care what's going to happen to this thing. So I might keep it on my list because of the fact that we closed as a reverse hammer yesterday. After reverse hammer, I expect the daily chart to go at least a little bit to the downside. If it's going to give me a good pattern, for example, by 9:30, it gets closer to 870. Market opens, 1 minute open range breakdown below the 870 level. I'll take it and I'll play the gap fill on MD. So this one I'm definitely keeping. BA is not really clean to trade. It just gaps up, gaps down a lot. It's far from the 9 EMA on the family chart. The pattern overall looks decent to the long side. But the fact that we pull back, this is the move, this is the pullback. The fact that we pull back less than 20% of the whole move is not really satisfying for me. I want to see pullbacks of at least 30 to 70%. 20% unless they are not really clean, they could make fake breakout and sell off, and I don't want to be trapped. Baba is within the daily chart, within the candle. If the stock is within the previous day candle, I could expect it to either go up or sell off. So basically, I go then and I check the 60-minute chart. And looking at the 60-minute chart, I see that we're struggling to go to the upside, and every time we are wicking to the downside. Not really interested in long on this thing, unless we break the 221 area. Yeah, 221. To the short side, below 219, maybe. So it's not the most ugly thing to watch. It's definitely not the cleanest. I'll keep it for now and see if we see something else. BAC. BAC is interesting. We are sitting around the all-time high area. BAC, sort of an ascending triangle around here. The 60-minute chart, overall, we're going to the upside. If we have a green candle, which is the 8 o'clock candle, the 60-minute chart, closes as a bullish candle, I might be interested in playing it for an opinion range breakout. So I'm going to keep BAC for now. I played it yesterday, and that's the main reason. Yesterday, we got up for a break of all-time high, and the 60-minute chart on this thing yesterday was also clean. Where is yesterday? There it is. We're sitting at the breakout area. So the way I played it yesterday is for an ABCD pattern to the long side, and a partial all at around 2 hours, somewhere around here, I guess. Yeah, my entry was somewhere around here, suppose around there, partial around there. So today I'm looking for a continuation. If it's going to give me a setup, I'm definitely going to give it a try. BB. This thing is definitely something I'm not going to be watching today, and the reason for that is the gap up. You see that the average true range in this stock is sitting somewhere around 80 cents, and that means that the stock on average per day moves somewhere around 80 cents. We did a move from $11.55 to $13 right now, and that's $1.50. We hit the average true range and more. Stocks definitely can make moves bigger than the average true range, just an average. Sometimes they make a move less than the average true range, but most of the time they are respecting the average true range. So big gap, I'm not watching this stock. BE. BE, just looking at the daily chart, it's not the cleanest. It's sitting within the candle. It could be a long, could be a short. 60-minute chart is the same thing. It's not the cleanest. Sort of a pennant around here. Not a pennant, it's actually sort of a channel to the downside. It could break down, could go up. Even the 60-minute candles is sitting in a range, and I'm definitely not interested. Not playing this thing for an open range breakout and not for an open range breakdown. Maybe in the next few days, if we get closer to 25 area, or we get closer for a break for 2360, I would be keeping it on my watch list, but definitely not today. Would I be trading this thing to the short side below 2360 today? Also no, because we will have made a move of 2450 to 2360, which is 90 cents when the average to range is $1.20. That will leave us with around 30 cents move extra. And again, this is an average. It could even make a move less than that. So not something interesting to watch for a breakout. Baidu. Baidu is not the cleanest, and again, it's not the true base. I don't really like the fact that we're stuck between the 50 moving average and the 9 and the 20. This means that we could either go up to the 50, bounce off it, and then sell off, or go back to the 9, bounce off it, and then come back up. Now, this is decent range, $3 to the upside and $3 to the downside. The previous day candle is an indecision candle, which means that today, again, we could be a long and we could be a short. Looking at the 60-minute range, there is a clear range around here. Clear range actually from the upside. From the downside, it's not really clean. So definitely, if I'm going to be trading Baidu, it will be to the long side above 202, and that's it. Not something interesting to trade to the short side. BLDP, same. It's not the cleanest. Daily chart is in a range. 60-minute chart, you are having supports below you all over the place, here, 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 and you're having resistance all over ahead of you. So not something to watch. Same thing on Bingo. You're literally stuck between moving averages, so not really worth watching it for a breakout. BP is decent. Small gap, around 10 cents. The average to range is 50 cents, so you still have 40 cents room to run, move to run. The 60-minute chart in a range. If it keeps the same range and gives us an open range breakout, it could be interesting. I honestly expect a trap for a break up, and then it will just simply sell off because of the fact how I see the daily chart. It's just struggling to break. It needs to be more clean of a pattern for a breakout than I can see here on the daily chart. There are a lot of resistance levels again ahead of you if you take a look at this. So I'd keep it for now. If we find nothing more interesting, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. Beyond is awesome. Beyond is the cleanest for now. You see that yesterday we closed as a red candle, so today we could make at least a small run to the downside, maybe to 130, 131. This is also gap. So this is a room which we could fill today, maybe for a gap fill. 60-minute chart, flat support. The break of it could give us a continuation for a whole gap fill. So I'm going to keep this one on my list. Maybe for 1 minute open range breakdown, maybe 5 minute open range breakdown. If the move breaks out and goes without me, maybe for a trend continuation a little bit later for a gap fill. Can gap up after a strong bullish day. So you know that candles, they don't trade this way. right? Market is not moving this way. It's not an open, close, open, close, open, close, and open, close. Candles, they overlap. So it could do this. Make a move from here to here. Next candle opens, overlaps 33%, 40%, 20%, and then if it's strong, it will continue. In this case, we had the strong bullish candle, and today we gapped up. I don't really expect us to just break and continue going higher. What I really expect is a sell-off, which will overlap a little bit or maybe fill the gap, and then a continuation. So this is something interesting to watch maybe for later on the day. Avoid trading it at the open because it's more likely to sell off, or maybe it will break up and then sell off. And then when it comes back to the high of the day area, it could be interesting for play of break to the high of the day. And definitely not going to be around later on the day because trading only the first hour. CCL, fake breakout. You see, we're strong, strong, strong. Then we're having, I would say this is a tweezer top. It didn't sell off. It broke out. And immediately after the breakout, it gets pushed back down, closing within the resistance area. Today, we are opening around the same resistance area. This is a doji, and honestly, most probably I would expect us to sell off after fake breakout, but you never know because the 60-minute chart doesn't look so weak. It's overall uptrending, and it could break up. Again, there are some contradictions which I don't like, and I'm definitely not going to watch this thing, especially if we are going to have some stuff which are more clean and more suitable for a breakout area. CGC, clearly holding this moving average, clearly holding this previous resistance area. Previous candle is red. Today, it could be a red candle, but as you said, it could overlap and then continue selling off. But taking it for a short against many resistance areas or support areas is not the best thing in my opinion. So again, going to pass on this one. Disney, same thing. It's just clearly stuck between moving averages, and on the daily chart, it's stuck within the range on the 60-minute chart. So yeah, not worth watching. This case is actually interesting. This is nice. Nice drop, pull back, a reverse MCD pattern. We are sitting at the breakout area, previous day close. If we manage to break below it, we'll have room all the way to 30.50 or maybe to 31. At the moment, we don't have any volume in the pre-market, which is okay in my opinion. Anyway, market will open, the volume will come. I'm definitely not going to be trading it to the long side. It has room to 30.60 to the long side, but it's not the thing which I'm looking for. I'll be interested in seeing it below 32 or 31.90 and then play this range to the downside. Dkng, daily chart is not the cleanest. You are holding a level around here, holding the moving average, but the 60-minute chart looks short. So this looks more bullish, especially the Dero strap, shooting star, followed by a hammer. This pattern around here, I love the most for a long. This, I love the most for a long on the next day. And this, I love the most for a short on the next day. So I see a pattern which I love to the long side, but the 60 is not supporting the daily charts. So it's another thing to pass on. Edit. This is so choppy. Daily within a range, 60 within a range, stuck between moving averages, stuck between moving averages. It's something I'm definitely not watching. F is decent. It's not the best, not the worst, but it's decent. You could see that we are holding in a range. Previous day we closed as a hammer. Today we're sitting around the previous day close. 60-minute chart clearly holding the level and sitting around the breakout area. This is so clean around here actually. If it manages to hold the same range for another hour and then at the open give me a 1-minute open range breakout, I'd be interested in playing it to the long side, targeting the 15 and then the 15.20. Something I'm definitely going to keep. You could see how clean this is in comparison to what we've seen before or what we've watched before. Anyway, Facebook, again, Facebook is also not clean. It's struggling around the highs. It's sitting within a range in the 60. It's sitting within the range in the daily. It could be literally a long and a short. And again, a lot of resistance levels ahead of you, a lot of support level below you. Can't even target them. So I'm going to pass on this thing. And same thing on FSLY. Let's go a little bit faster because this is repeatable. Same thing on Fubo, FUQ, like the same thing, like literally stuck. No reason to keep an eye on it. GME, I'm actually never trading this stock, but I love seeing what it's doing. IBM, look at this. This is so choppy. It's just sitting within the range. Red candle after a green candle after red candle after a green candle. This is something I'm definitely going to watch in the next few days. The moment we decide where we are going to go, maybe below 143. If I see that we're opening around 143 or we're opening around 146, I'd be playing it either for a breakout or a breakdown. As long as we are still opening within the range in the middles, this is not something I'm going to be trading or even watching. INO. Same thing on INO. It's not so clean, not to the short and not to the long. Look at this. Below, a lot of levels. Ahead of us, also a lot of levels. Daily chart stuck between moving averages. Pass on it. INTC. More short than long, but I see that we are actually changed the trend. If you take a look at the daily chart, we were downtrending, 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 downtrending. At this area, the trend starts to change. And what could happen around here is a fake breakdown before a continuation to the long side. So yes, it looks like it wants to break down and maybe go lower, but because of the fact that I see that how the trend changed and how we're slightly pushing forward, I'm not really interested in trading it. I'll give it a few more days. Maybe if it's going to do this on the daily chart, I'm going to play to the short side. Or if we are going above the 50 on the daily and then we do this, I'll be playing it to the long side. IWM. Honestly, not bad. Decent range on the 60-minute chart, decent on the daily chart. After hammer, I think if we break up, we could run to 230. Let's leave it for now and see how it behaves in the open. And by the way, guys, you'll see that I have a lot of stocks around here right now. Does that mean I'll have my watch list? I'll have my watch list consisting of 10, 20 stocks? It's not like that. I'm going to leave them all right now. Before market open, maybe at 9:10 or at 9:15. I will narrow this list to 6 stocks, and then I post my watch list here in the chat room. It's actually 10 most of the times, but I watch mainly the 6 and the 4 are backup. JPM, we have BAC, those are all financials, no need to watch all of them. MA, this is not bad, look at this. Look at the daily chart. Literally at the breakout area, not literally, but close enough for a breakout area. 60-minute chart at the breakout area. What I would love to see is a small pullback at the open because we are far from view up, and I don't trade breakouts when the stock is far from view up. I'd want to see a pullback, maybe sort of a rising devil, and then a sell-off to the breakout area where I'm going to be interested in it to the short side. Andrew, breakout area, it means it's sitting at a support area. So if it breaks this area, it could go down to 355. You see this flat, holding it, and holding it, and held it there. And the best stocks which I'm watching are those which are sitting at the breakout area because they can get a little bit of momentum after market open to go in my favor. I didn't check V yet, Dan. Let's take a look at V. Yeah, V is a little bit choppy. Look at this. You are sitting within the daily range in the middle. It could go up, it could go down, and it could literally bounce off any level. It could bounce off this level, it could bounce off this level, it could bounce off this level, and to the downside, like you see this chop. It could bounce literally off any level. So this is not really clean around here. If you compare it to MA, which if it breaks down, will have some room to the downside. So Mara, let's take a look at Mara. Not the cleanest, honestly, because we're sitting in the middle. If candle today opened, we'll still have 1 hour actually. But if it's sitting somewhere around here, around 27, it would be more exciting to actually watch this into the long side. But will I be trading it if it's going to 27? Definitely not. Why is that? The previous day closed 25.20. 27, which is the area I'm interested in, is sitting $1.8 away from the previous day close. The average to range on this thing is somewhere around 230 cents. I'll have only 50 cents. And this is an average. I target 80% of the average to range because not every time you can hit the 100% of the average through range. The moment it hits the level where I'm interested in it, it will already be hitting the ATR. So maybe I'll be trading it, but not today. Tomorrow, if we open closer to the $27 area, 27.20, 27.30. mRNA is interesting. Look at this. The daily is looking clean to long. Previous day hammer sitting around the breakout area. Definitely more long buys rather than short buys. We'll see how it behaves at the open. MRO. Like I told you, if I see that the stock has been in play the previous day with a really wide bar candle, the next day I'm not trading it because I expect an overlap or chop. The third day, though, I might be trading it. It could be closed as a doji on this day, and on the next day, we could continue going up, and this is a 3-bar play where it was in play, indecision, and then a continuation. Next day, not touching it. Third day, might be coming back to it. No, I'm not trading the drop because I don't know how much it will overlap. It could overlap 10%, 20%, 30%, see, and then continue going higher. I do expect it to retrace, but will it retrace enough to give me the risk to reward I'm looking for? Amir, the average to range, you can add it in DAS this way. Right click on the volume area, chart area, add new area before, then right click on this gap area, study config, and add the average true range. And you see that MRO has an average true range of somewhere around 0.50. If you check trading view, it will show you this value, 0.6, which is today's value, but I'm not going for the maximum. I'm taking a look at the price where it's mainly being traded at. And I see that MRO, most of the time it's trading around 0.5. It does reach the 0.6 sometimes, it does reach the 0.4 sometimes, but most of the time it's trading around 0.5. Now, how do you implement it in your trading? The average true range is the greatest of the following. One, if you are looking to the long side, previous day close, low of the day, pre-market low, to the current price. Now, in this case, you could see that the previous day close is at 1370, right? The pre-market low is the same thing actually, at around 1370, and the price now is at 14. So basically, the average true range is 50 cents, but you already hit 30 cents. Let's say that the pre-market low is around 1360. You will say that, okay, we did a move of 40 cents, not 30 cents. If the pre-market low is 1380, but the previous day closed 1360, you'll say that we did a move of 40 cents. If at the open it drops all the way to 1340, then it goes all the way back up, then you will say that it did a move of 60 cents and not 40 cents. So you pick the greatest between the previous day close, pre-market low, and the low of the day. Anyway, removing MRO. Would you consider the shape of the candlesticks on the daily? Yes, I do care about the shape of the candlesticks, how they are looking like. If I see a bullish pattern, but this bullish pattern on the daily chart is happening after a couple of shooting stars, I'm definitely not interested in it to the long side because I see that there is some selling pressure. The moment it goes up, someone is interested in shorting it at this area, and I'm definitely not going against it. If I see the same pattern, but after hammers, I'm definitely watching it because I see that there is buying pressure, and now we're having a pattern for a breakout or a continuation to the long side. Does that make sense? So MU, look at MU again. MU, you could see that it's slightly going up, pulling back, going up, and around here what could happen is a pullback, and then it could continue going higher. So yes, the 60 does look weak, but I don't know how much it is going to pull back, especially if we're close to some moving averages, which could hold, and the level, which could also hold. So basically, this is not something I'm watching. Do I trade it to the long side? Not really, because overall the 60 is slightly sloping down. AM, it is the greatest between the pre-market low, previous day close, or the low of the day. If the lowest point for today is the previous day close, you calculate it from the previous day close. If the lowest point is from the pre-market low, you calculate it from the pre-market low. If the lowest point is at the low of the day, you calculate it from the low of the day. Andrew, I don't care about the intraday price action. I care about the daily and the 60. Why is that? The daily shows me that I can make a move of $2.50. The 60-minute chart shows me that I can make a move of, let's take a look at that. I can make a move of around 40 cents. The 5-minute chart, the ATR there is so small. I don't care about the 5 and the 1. If I was a scalper, I'll be trading of the 1-minute chart or of the 5-minute chart, yes. But because I'm not scalper, I'm holding for my trades for longer. You can see that on Twitter. Sometimes I hold them for hours, sometimes the whole day, sometimes if the risk reward is good and the spot open is like so volatile, I'll be holding it for just a few minutes. But I'm aiming for big moves. To aim for big moves, I need to pay attention to the bigger time frames. That's why I don't care about the patterns on the 1-minute chart and the 5-minute chart. I mean, I look at the favorable direction on the daily and the 60-minute chart. I look at the setup on the 5-minute chart, and I get my entry on the 1-minute chart. But this is my main thing I'm paying attention to. If I see a bullish pattern on the 5-minute chart, but this is clearly bearish, I'm not going to be taking that bullish pattern on the 5-minute chart. Aman, I'm mainly using the 60-minute chart and the daily chart. The 15-minute chart, I use it for extreme reversals only. These are the charts I'm looking at for breakouts and trend continuations. Cool. So Netflix, it is the same thing. You could see that we are forming sort of a reverse head and shoulder pattern, right? And at the same time, we were kind of downtrending or trying to downtrend. At the low, we double bottomed, and now the trend slightly changes. This could tell me that, okay, if we break down, we could go a little bit down, but I'm not really sure how much. If we break up, we could go up, but we're stuck between moving averages. So this is not the day to pay attention to Netflix. Maybe after a few days. Same thing on NIO, bullish day on a previous day. Not watching it today. NKLA, this is not bad on NKLA. We had a bullish day, and look at this. After a bullish day, I'm not watching it. Why? Because the next day usually gets choppy, like this around here. Then this closes as a reverse hammer. Definitely not watching it unless I want to play to the short side at the low, at the break of the low of this day. In this case, it didn't do it and it held. And now look at this. Remember what I told you? This is my favorite pattern to the long side. The reverse hammer followed by a hammer. This is my favorite to the long side. Looking at the 60-minute chart, we're uptrending and there is a clear pattern, ascending triangle. NKLA is 100% something I'm watching today for a breakout. We still have an hour before the market open. I wanted to hold in a range for an hour. If it just breaks up and runs in the pre-market, not giving me the move, then I'm not going to be watching it. If it's going to hold, then I would be. Because look at this, the average to range of this thing is somewhere around 90 cents, and we already did 40 cents move. Almost 50% of the ATR. If we're going to $16, that's 60 cents move, which is above the 50% of the ATR. And then I will not be interested in it. I want it in the pre-market to hold this area. All right, let's take a look at a couple more, and I'm going to call it a day because Carlos and Norm are going to jump in. So look at this, NVIDIA. That was a bullish day, and then the previous day was choppy. That's why in the next days after bullish days I don't watch it. But on the next day, which is today, I could be watching it for a long side. Why? For a 3-bar play. So if this thing is breaking the 655, it could be a decent continuation. Hey, scientists. Open is struggling. I'm definitely not shorting it. Not today. Look at these wicks with an increasing volume. This is exhaustion volume. There is some huge buying or selling happening at this area, and after this area we came back up and we never looked back down. Now we're holding in a range, so I'm definitely not interested in shorting this thing, not until we are going all the way down there and then set a pattern for a break of this area, or I'll be watching it for a long, maybe a few weeks later once it's giving us set up to the long side. Yes, Paul, I'm taking a look at the same tickers every day. If you want to get my list, just send me an email. I'm going to send you the list. It consists of 85 stocks, and I'm going through them every day. By the way, it doesn't take me this long to go through them. It takes me only 5 minutes, but because I'm trying to explain you what I like around here and what I don't like, it takes some time. But what I usually do is this. I just simply go down, and if I like it, I leave it. If I don't like it, I just press the delete. Like, I do it this fast. See, this is the way I do it every single day. I could just spot it immediately, what I like and what I don't like in it. So yeah, that's it, guys. It's 8:30 a.m. Time for the pre-market show. Have a great day, everyone, and trade safe. Bye-bye.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, brother. I'm doing great. Hope you are as well.
Yeah, doing good. All right, guys. Welcome. Hopefully, everyone's having an amazing morning. Thank you, Eamon, for covering for Jared this morning. He is not feeling well, so we hope he gets better soon. There. So thank you for that. All right, guys. Let's get to it. Look at what we had yesterday on our list. Right over here. We had quite a bit on here, but man, it was not an easy day to trade yesterday. Let's start with AMC. AMC, beautiful pre-market action. You do get this great drop, some profit taken, obviously, after such a great run, not just in the pre-market, also over the last couple of days, been running so well and so clean. So here you get a little bit of a drop. The market was dropping early on as well. This did not continue to follow the market, but it did get a little bit of a bounce later in the day. So that's nice to see there. Let's get our Epic pen in case we need to use it a little bit later. Recovered from there, hitting this 23, which is kind of pretty close to the high of the pre-market if you take out this little spike here. And it's just struggled at that area for the most part of the day. But then the action really comes in after hour, guys. I mean, check this out. This would be 4 o'clock. This will be around 5:30 or so. This thing just takes off from 32, hitting 38. Oh, you've seen the daily. I'm so sorry. I'm in the wrong screen here. And I'm even typing it and everything. There it is. Here's the screen, the bottom one. So here it is. Thank you for that. Here it is. Action after 5:30 last night. This thing takes off from 32 up to 38. So just madness there. This thing opened up around what 28 was it? Pre-market or so, right around this area. I know we heard Andrew took his trade very early on pre-market. He woke up at 4 in the morning Eastern time, took a trade here and was able to carry that into the pre-market. I think he left some for the market open, not sure. But look at this. Today's definitely in play again, guys. Up another 20%. This thing is just insane right now.
Yeah.
Insane. I mean, the high this morning is 44.75. It's just incredible what we're seeing here and the volume we're getting. So we'll get into that in a second. Then the rest did not look as clean as this one. Let's look at Neo. Neo had a nice little pop breakout, beautiful above the 40.28 high of the pre-market. Nice continuation. Does give you a little pullback here. It does get a little dicey in this area and then eventually gets back to the high of the day and breaks out of that, right? At 41.43. Look how we had that great level there last night. I'm sure that was a daily level or something here, right? Yesterday morning, actually. So nice breakout there. Does come and retest that and then continues. That is a nice play for Neo. OEG, let's get here. OEG. This one had again great pre-market action, then just choppy the entire day, guys. Very similar to AMD, where it struggled to get above a certain price level right on here, and then eventually broke out nicely here towards the end of the day, around 3 o'clock or so. But again, really struggled against this level here. So interesting there. AMD had a nice, beautiful, huge pop pre-market. I'm sorry, at the bell. Nice continuation, guys. So if you got in for this one for the breakout, some of the highs of the pre-market, for a 5-minute open range breakout, even at 1 minute, you got definitely rewarded pretty nicely with a beautiful continuation. From there, it does get pretty choppy here. I believe if the market did not sell off like it did yesterday, I think some of these stocks that were they were primed. They were primed to go. We talked about AMD being explosive, and we saw that yesterday. If the market probably had not sold off like this, maybe we could have seen a better continuation and into the trading day yesterday by AMD. But again, just got pulled back here. Couldn't go against the overall trend here, and we saw that yesterday. American Airlines, same situation, guys. Did get a one initial pop on here, then just becomes choppy. I truly believe it's just the market just kind of pulling things down. CCL was horrible, very choppy in here. Look at the entire afternoon action as well, not looking great. And that's for the most part a lot of the pictures here. I think again you had this initial pop. The market kind of did not rally behind some of these stocks that wanted to go, and then you just got a pullback or some chop. Trying to find a bottom on the SPY here yesterday, which didn't come early in the morning. So that is what we had. Let's take a look at what's coming up today and for this week on the market post.
Yeah, man. Relatively timid open right now. I mean, just flat, tepid, excuse me, not timid. What am I talking about? I guess my brain needs to catch up. I still don't even know what day of the week it is. But I mean, like we spoke about yesterday, we had that really strong gap after the holiday weekend. We were up against all-time highs, questioning whether it would have the momentum to break through that and continue, or we were going to fade. It was the second. It was the fade, which some people took some great trades on. Thor had an excellent SPY trade that faded that gap. And we'll see how it plays out. We're in the summer trading months. It's a little bit slower. We do have beige book at 2, but most importantly, probably our auto sales numbers that'll be trickling out from the various companies over the next day or so. So just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye if we can break this all-time high. We have rejected it a couple of times now, so we'll see if we get the momentum to break through. Hello.
Oh, sorry, I'm here talking to myself on mute. Let's remove some of the watches we had here from yesterday, and let's make some rows.
I also want to comment. I think it's funny that you're in a short sleeve shirt. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. You're in New York, and I'm in Texas.
Very nice.
So it's a weird time. That's for sure.
It surely is. And what was the day you said? You put a tweet up that it was really cold down there.
It was like in the low 50s or something at one point, which is just, it's supposed to be like 90 degrees here and humid as hell right now. So
yeah. We should be having better weather here too. And on that same day you posted, I think we were down at 40s up here. So it's just like insane. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's see what we have here on our gappers list. And for those guys on YouTube, if you are getting not the best quality, check sometimes the setting because what happens is you might be stuck at a lower quality. Just make sure you're at 1080p. It's going to make the charts look a little bit brighter and sharper. So make sure you're doing that. Again, YouTube does this new thing now where it tries to decide for you what the quality should be for your stream. And just make sure you check that as well. No, my has some issues today.
When I hopped in YouTube to begin with, it was real fuzzy. I could barely see anything, and I asked you guys, the mods in here, if anybody else was a refresh fixed it for me. So
so I know I've seen that a couple of times where I go to some videos and I'm like, why is this quality so bad? And YouTube just does this weird decision for you. All right, guys, let's get to it. First on the list, starting on the gap up, we have CNST. And this one here is not looking great. Oh, wait, let me go to the pre-market action. Yeah, this is horrible. Probably a buy or some kind of just non-tradable action right now. So we'll skip on that one. Up 67%. It smells like a buy out here, guys. Normal. I'm not sure if you looked at this one, but yeah. AMC definitely in play. It is just incredible, guys. I wonder if Andrew woke up at 4 a.m. today to trade this. That'll be nice if we can see that. But right now he is up, well, not he, but the stock is up 20% to 26 million shares traded. So again, just incredible what this thing has done over the last couple of days. And that madness is continuing here, up 20%. We're definitely in play. We'll keep an eye on this one. BB also up another 16.7. So this is doing pretty well, guys. 9.7 million shares traded. What happened last night? Is this just overall technical, or is there some
so AMC obviously had the Reddit move, which helped it. But then, they had a couple of things. They had an investor came in that they had a private offering to a couple of days ago. We discussed that. The stock price held and actually went up. And then the CEO's come out and he says he's going to capitalize on this, meme move the stock has had and put, for the company's benefit, which as a CEO of a company, your duty is to benefit the shareholders of the company the best way you can possible. So, nobody's really had this before in this sort of way where you've had a group of retail investors that have banded together to push a stock. And he's going to use that to his benefit, and we'll see how it works out. But, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is the way to go about that for sure. So BB, guys, in play as well. Looks a little bit better than yesterday. Today's pre-market actually looks a little bit cleaner than what we had last trading day here. So last pre-market. So we'll put that on here too. BB is definitely one to watch this morning. You won 6.1 million shares flow. We've seen this one before in the past a couple of times. Right now they're up 9.7. The volume is not great. Let's take a look at some of the action previous that we had here. They had great volume, guys. 41 and 80 million shares traded. I'm not sure if that started like this. I'm sure they probably had a better pre-market action, but this is a former runner. Had a great day. Had a great pop on the daily yesterday, but it doesn't look like it was a great trader overall. I mean, yes, it looks good on the daily
Volume's
here,
not good.
you know, but the volume is not there like it was here. And also you could tell on the daily, it looks very choppy. It's just not a whole lot of action. So not a huge fan of this one right now. Coase or COS, however you want to call this one, 2.8 million shares traded right now. Now, this one we looked in the past. It can run pretty well at times. Right now, 207, it is up 8.1. We can put it as a possible low flow stock for today. Let's see if that gets a little bit better. I know this is one of a slightly more on the cleaner side low flow, so it can trade very well. So we'll see if that continues today. SKLZ this morning, horrible daily, by the way. Just look at how this thing has been trading here. It's just not great. Volume is also really bad down here. Right now, they're up 630,000 shares traded. Pre-market action, I am not a huge fan of this one right now. Maybe a possible. I know members in the community do like this one, though.
This one, I've mentioned this before. This can be a decent swing trade sometimes, but it trades very thinly, which means since it trades so thin, it can go against you quickly. There's not a lot of volume usually that goes through it. So you just got to watch out. Yeah, they made an acquisition, which is, you know, they're popping on news of that. So we'll see, but just watch the order flow and make sure it's a substantial volume to make, you know, trade it reasonably.
I agree. Be careful with this one, guys. So we'll put it as a possible for now here. Let's see how it goes. Again, we got some volume. We're up nicely. Daily possible breakout. If we can get above this 1850 will be nice. Let's see how that continues there. RLX, we've seen this one in the past make some noise. This morning, they are up 6.2, 696,000 shares traded. They're not a low flow, but they're a massive flow. They're 953 million. They don't get a whole lot of volume, and that's my concern. You might not get some very clean movements out of this one. Now, pre-market right now, they're definitely in play. They're very active. I'm going to put it as a possible.
In earnings this morning.
Oh, okay, that makes sense because you could tell here they don't get a whole lot of action, but hopefully that can create something for us here. Pre-market action, not so bad. Dailies, aside from it being choppy in some of these areas, I do like the fact that we're breaking out of this 1259, 1260. So if we can continue above that, this could be nice for a nice little run. Maybe go back and retest that high of the pre-market. But outside of that, this is not a great one. Oh, look at this. We also have a possible, we have a huge gap down here. We can possibly start closing this gap if we can get above that, stay above that 13 bucks area here. So let's take a close look at that one as possible. Btx 18 million, so a little bit on the lower side and does not look great pre-market right now. It is up 5.2. Ran nicely in early May, looks like in March as well, in April, excuse me. But for the most part right now, not looking all that great. We'll skip on it. IMVT, horrible, guys. Just look at this daily. This is just insane. And then pre-market action also is pretty bad. So we'll skip on that. CAN, we got a couple of the Bitcoin stuff in here. CAN, I'm going to look at Riot and Mara. They tend to trade a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot cleaner as far as intraday trading. Right now, Riot is up 4.3, 220,000 shares traded. And Mara, what do we have on Mara? Mara is pretty much very similar as well as on the daily. So I'm going to watch just one. Let's just watch Riot for now. We'll see how that trades, how that turns out. So we'll add Riot here. That's good. CCIV this morning. This one's looking good. Pre-market 291,000, up 3.2. Had a good day yesterday and also possible continuation today. I do like the way this one looks today. And we looked at this one quite a bit. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Muds this morning, no, not looking great, guys. Very choppy pre-market action and even worse daily. MRO also very, very choppy here as well. Does not get great volume for the most part, but looks like yesterday did okay. Yesterday got 50 million. Let's see how that traded. We have better stocks that traded like this, right? So if you had AMCA, you had NEO, you had some other stocks that traded just like this. So I won't give it too much credit. This morning,
if you want to, this is just trading on oil. If you want Oxy, a lot of times a better proxy than that.
Yes, I agree. If you compare yesterday, it's same action here, but probably more volume, right? So we'll see. If you like to trade this one, guys, yeah, I agree. Do Oxy. I don't see anything great on it right now, but that could change. This type of tickers with oil depend on the market overall movement a lot as well, and what's happening with that sector alone. So they seem to be had a great day yesterday, up slightly today. maybe a possible continuation. But right now, I don't like any one of these two. So I'll wait for them to either be called out by one of our great moderators or members in the community, or if it hits our scanners. OEG had a bang up day yesterday, running here from $4, gapping up to around 5 something, and then hitting almost $8. Today, they're dropping down here, down almost 12%, 3.8 million shares traded. We do have shares for short on this one, so I'm going to add this one to our list today, because we can play this one both ways. Float on this one is 41 million, so it's not a low flow stock, which is great. We can get some good price action out of this one. Looks like we're getting a little bit of some profit taken after such a big move yesterday. Insane volume, guys. 243 million shares traded. Here's Lissy. Lissy's 12.6 right now. They didn't look great yesterday when they gapped up, or the day before. I forget when we looked at this, and they're not looking any better today. So we'll skip on this one. BTNR, we had this on our list a few days ago as well. Might have been yesterday too. Right now they're down 4.8, 2.5 million. We can also trade this towards the downside. We do have shares for short. Yeah, maybe a possible. This had an incredible run, and they had news, Norm. I remember you saying that they had a catalyst that was popping this thing up, and look at the beautiful continuation they got here for the last 3 days. Trading days, maybe they're getting a little bit of a break here. I know they're down 4.4, but still, this stock is very strong. So don't get fooled by this drop.
A lot of times after that three day pop, it concerns me to even get near that. You know, you've got choppy people that see it, think they're getting in on a move, and really people that were in there from short 4 days ago that have ridden it from $2 to 10 are now like, here, take mine.
Yeah.
You can have all my shares.
You can have all of this. So yeah, I agree. Be very careful, guys. What you can see here is also a lot of chop as well. That second day after such a big run. So let's just be careful. If this thing is going to run, if it's the real deal, we'll see some kind of consolidation, and we'll slowly start to see volume come back in and start getting towards this 950 again, 1050 and so forth. Well, we need to see that. Don't expect that to happen and start going long on this thing. BEKE, this is not one of my favorite guys.
My God,
always chop it. Becky, it's horrible. I don't like the way it trades. So I'm just gonna stay away from this one at the moment. OCGN, this one right now not looking good. I'm not sure why this one is in our list. I guess because it's gapping down 3.2, but outside from that, this doesn't look great at all, guys. Very choppy pre-market action. We are throwing some good volume around almost 500,000 shares traded, down 3.2, but just look at the chop in the pre-market. Look at the chop. Yeah, look at the chop in the last couple of days too. We're not getting a whole lot of movement. We got a couple of days here that look okay. Outside of that, you're not getting much. Look how nasty this is. In the last 2 days also has not been great. CNK this morning, not looking good neither. Volume is not great. Pre-market action is also not there. And even overall daily, look at the bigger picture. This is not a good one either. It gets very light on the volume also. Recent IPO. Do we have more history here? Oh, no, not recent IPO. Oh, it's an old one. Okay. All right.
It's in a market.
Yeah. All right. Cool, guys. Let's Norm, what do you like this morning? Aside from what we have?
Still looking, brother.
All right, you got it. Let's jump into our chat room, guys. Let's start here with, who do we have? Let's start with Edwin. You're giving us Envis, and also Mr. Goldman is giving us Envis as well. So let's take a look here on Envis this morning. Yeah, Envis does look very active, breaking out here out of 18. Great area of resistance for them. As you can see here, plenty of areas where they struggled. Even the last 2 days struggled to get above that. We're above that now, and you can see the pre-market action getting nicer as we break out of this 1770 area. So that looks pretty good, guys. I do like the way this one's looking this morning, and we know this thing can run. The float on this, let's remind ourselves what that is. Envis, 155. So not a low flow stock, but you want to treat it with white glove service here, guys. Be very, very gentle with this one. Very, very careful. It can literally rip your face off if you get caught on the wrong side of things. And we've seen this happen before. Look at how this thing can really, really move and get going there. So on the list, let's go down here. Bctx. Bctx, all right, you got a nice gap up of 101. So that's great. We have 9.3 million shares traded. I'm just concerned on if this thing is going to even be tradable at the market open. It's definitely not tradable now in the pre-market. This is just horrible, horrible action. You want no part of this, right? So yes, the numbers, right? You look at the numbers, it looks good. You start looking under the hood here, it's not looking any great at all. It's not looking good. So Just want to be careful. I'll be concerned with how this is going to trade at the market open. You do not have shares for short, so be careful trying to be stuck in a bias on the long side here. I just don't like a lot of things on this ticker overall, to be honest. So I'm gonna skip on this. I don't want to be tempted to touch this stuff. Let's take a look at space. SPCE this morning. They are what do we have here? Space, they are pretty much flat right now, only down about 1%, 276. Their daily does look very interesting, guys. We did get a nice little pop here. We're coming back to another area that has been great support for them, so that is all interesting. But as far as the pre-market right now, I'm not seeing anything explosive, but that could change. Maybe possible for now. We'll have to see how the market is going to be today. That's going to be interesting, especially with this stock hitting this great level, this previous day close level right on here. So we'll see how that's going to turn out. Right, heading down, SY. Did I miss anyone? Hold on a second. No, we did not. All right, so SCYX, excuse me, SCYX. We're up 5.1, 1.1 million. So great volume, but man, that volume is not really, what kind of company is this, by the way? That volume is not creating a great pre-market action for us, which is concerning. 19.8 million float. So it's a lower float, or barely getting above that 20 million. I'll be concerned with this one. It seems like a choppy trading type stock. Let's take a look what it did yesterday.
It's a drug company. They have FDA approval on treatment.
Yeah, they don't trade very well, guys. Even with some volume, they got 1.2, which is the most volume they had in the pre-market, probably, because everything else here, the highest volume I see in the last couple of months is 3 million, which was yesterday. So maybe that could be the difference maker today. But even with that 1.2, it is not a great 1.2, guys. You know what I mean? Just look at the way this thing is moving here. So I'm not going to add it to my list. If it gets better, let's throw it back out here. But right now, it's not looking all that great. SPI this morning, they are not looking good. The volume is just not there. They're up 1.3. And when they get volume, look at the action yesterday. This is brutal. Oh, I'm sorry. This is 851,000. My mistake. I thought for some reason this was 850 million. This is 851,000. So you don't want to be trading something like this. The volume is just not there. You know, the volume is just not there, guys. Mainly under 400,000. That is just not a good one. So be very careful if you're going to touch something like that. Be very, very careful. All right, let's take a look over on our YouTube chat. What do we have? Envis, we do have it on here. Bctx, yeah, we looked at this one. Again, yes, you got the volume. You know what? I'm going to put it here so we can look at it again as we get closer to the market open.
I'm going to answer one quick question while we're sitting here and you're in between ones. Pat F in the room asked about CCIV. He said, I noticed some stocks like CCIV have all sorts of shareholder lawsuits. Do we need to be concerned about these? So if you go to FinViz and you pull up one of these CCIV, a number of the headlines are the Carlos and Norm law firm, are sending out an alert to let you know this is your last chance to get in on this class action lawsuit on behalf of shareholders. Unfortunately, in our litigious society, those are a dime a dozen these days. Not that there might not be something behind them, but you can't really. A lot of them are just frivolous lawsuits. So unless you really go in and dig in, you can't tell if they're worth anything or not. The other thing is too, usually we're trading on such a short time frame that whether that company has a lawsuit that might go forward at some point in the future doesn't really make a lot of sense to us to care about anyway. So just my thoughts on that.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think we spoke about that too in the past, where that doesn't make a huge impact on some of these. And if you look at some of the companies, be surprised how many companies have lawsuits. It's just like nonstop. All these companies could have a lawsuit type like that, and who knows? Unless something major, significant, it doesn't really move the company much. Here's Plug, down 0.74, not great. Volume is not there. I like the daily for a possible breakout, but it's just nothing's happening now. This is one of those stocks that we love to watch, we love to trade, but today's just not the day for it. We'll have to see if the market can spark it up a little bit here. All right, what else do we have, guys? Let's take a look here. AMC, we do have on deck. CNST, did we look at that one? I believe we did. It wasn't great. No, this is more of a buyout, so that doesn't look good at all. Neo, let's take a look at that one. Neo this morning. Oh, let's make sure we are synced up nicely here. Neo today, great volume, 931,000.
Holding that run from yesterday so far.
It is, and the pre-market action. I know we're used to seeing a whole lot of volume, but this pre-market action is really nice. It's a nice pre-market action after such a big run-up day, hitting up against this great level of resistance. If we can get back up to that, will be great. I do like Neo this morning. ZM, Zoom has a nice daily, guys. Has a nice daily. Possible breakout. They've been beat up quite a bit over the last, they're all of May, coming back a little bit here, stalling at an area where they have some great resistance. So it's going to take a lot for them to break out of this 340-ish area. But if they could do that, we know they can run. We've seen that happen in the past. They've been up here before. It's just going to be tough to do that, guys, especially with, people getting back to work. We'll have to see. It could be a good possible, though. It really is. I do like that daily. It has potential. All right, guys, we're going to stop here. Apple. Yeah, Apple is a good one. We can always watch Apple. I'll tell you that much. Apple is a good one just to keep an eye on, especially with the way things are. So we'll keep an eye on Apple here. Not doing a whole lot right now. Just kind of wrapping itself around the previous day close. It is slamming against this area of support here. So we'll see if we can hold that there. We'll have to take a closer look at that. All right, guys, let's go to our community announcements. We'll come back and fine-tune this list. And for those that joined Mike and I yesterday, thank you. We had a nice Q&A because Jared wasn't feeling well, so he couldn't make the success webinar. But that success webinar is going to be next week. But Mike and I had a good Ask Me Anything type thing yesterday, and that turned out pretty good.
You'll have to help me with these because you're the one in charge of scheduling and success webinars. So don't mute yourself. Hang on, so I don't trip over myself and tell people the wrong thing right here.
Absolutely.
So Jared's webinar is next week on the 8th.
Correct. And
then because you guys had a Q&A session last night in place of that, since he started feeling nasty toward the end of the day. And at the same time, while we're saying that, big shout out to Eamon for covering this morning as well, since Jared is under the weather. So next week we will have Peter and talking about next week we have Jared, and then the following week on the 15th we will have Peter talking about his mountain pass strategy.
That is correct. Yep.
Awesome. Yep. All right.
That's what we're doing there. Perfect.
As far as the psychology section of Bearable Traders, hopefully Dr. Kenneth Reed stays away from Jared so he doesn't get sick. We'll have his webinar tonight talking about the 1-minute bar, what he calls the misdirection bar. So it should be an interesting webinar this evening. And then next week at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, Mike talking about the handling the emotions of trading. What's up, buddy? Hope you feel better, Jared. All right, if you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade with entries and exits on it, then add any commentary you can describing the strategy, why you took the trade, and everything else. Post it on Twitter, tagging at Bearable Traders, at MikeB_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also, use the hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We'll pick a winner for each day and announce it on Twitter and in the room at the end of the day. And then all of the trades of the day are eligible for Trade of the Week, which will be voted on by the team over the weekend and announced the following Monday afternoon. If you are watching on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you'd like to give it a try, use the promo code PREMARKET24. It'll get you a discount off the test drive, which is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. Does not auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership. Also gives you access to the live onboarding classes and technology classes we do every Monday night that begin at 8 p.m. Eastern.
All right, excellent. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's chop up this list. Let's review certain things first. Make sure we are good here. Let's start with AMC. So AMC looking very good. Definitely in play, guys. We'll keep an eye on this one. Getting a little bit of a bounce, having a little bit of a support happening right at 38, right on there, guys. So that's looking very good. BB is also in play, guys. Looking a lot better than yesterday as far as pre-market action. Amazing volume. That's good to go. Riot is starting to pick up, as well as Mara. We saw some action there, so you can watch either one. But this has a nice gap up of 4.1. Hasn't done much in the pre-market after the gap up, but we're starting to see some volume coming in here. So hopefully that can create a good pre-market action. I do like the daily quite a bit here on rise, so I think that's a good one to keep an eye on. CCIV, this one could be a hit or miss, but had a great day yesterday. I'm looking for hopefully a continuation here, guys. Pre-market after 8:30 looking really nice here. Volumes coming in steady. Let's see if that maintains their hit as we get close towards that 2240, which seems to be an area of resistance. We had that yesterday. That's your high from yesterday. You got some support happening here. Nothing major. I don't see anything too drastic. Oh no, we have some good support coming back here. More to the left. We could see some more areas of support there. So that could be the reason why that number is struggling to get above that. OEG had a great day yesterday. It just madness there, gapping up huge, and now we're kind of down 10% this morning. We do have inventory for short. Just be very careful with this one. But I think it's one that is definitely in play, at least as a possible, if you don't like the way things look there right now, to have it on your main list. Envis looks very active this morning. I love the breakout out of 18. Let's just hope we have some more room to pop here. We are already up 9%, guys, so pretty high this morning on that one. Let's see if that can continue. Here is Neo. Neo had a great day yesterday. I do like the pre-market action. We have almost 1 million shares traded there. I think we have a good list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have time. We'll do levels for all of these. Let's look at our possibles list. We have Apple on here, which is just a good one to have overall. I do like the level of support that we're slamming up against now for either a bounce, right? Either a bounce, because we had a couple of red days. We're definitely, for the short-term period, we're kind of oversold. If we look at this, what is this? Will be the range, right? The range we're getting here. We're kind of on the bottom end of this one. So hopefully we can get a bounce, head back to 128. Or, you know, that could be nice there. Or if we break down, we got some levels towards the bottom that we have hit before. But I think you're gonna need to spice up to break down further to get this to go down, right? So we'll have to see. So this is a good possible. RLX, this could be choppy, guys. Just be careful. The volume is a little messy. You know, after going through my list on the main one, RLX doesn't look great. It really doesn't. We have a really good list up here, guys. So let's just get rid of that nonsense. SKLZ. This one it could be hit or miss. Doesn't look great. We'll keep it on there. BTNR, this could be okay as well. Space is not great. Bctx, you know, I'm gonna take this one off, guys, because I'm concerned this is not gonna trade all that well at the market open. 10 million shares, up 100 and something. I expect pure chop out of this. You know, I'll leave it here to see if I was right, but I just don't expect that one to trade very well. I'm not going to be paying close attention to that one. Zoom, I like the daily on Zoom. We're coming up against an area of great resistance here. Let's see if we can get back up there. We're up almost a 1.5 here, 180,000 shares traded. So it's a good possible as well. All right, let's get into some levels. AMC this morning, we have our highs and lows towards the bottom. Guys doing an amazing job as we continue this beautiful run and just hitting some really great volume here. 705 almost on this would be well, we had a holiday, so I don't know what the days are, but on these 2 days here, and then this was yesterday, we had almost very close to a little bit less. Today already 30 million in the pre-market, so it is just on fire. Levels as far as we go here, we have high of the pre-market 44.75. I removed my levels from yesterday here because we were discussing this one in our success webinar Q&A yesterday. So we're talking about levels, and I removed the ones I had, but 44.70 is the high of the pre-market. We'll throw a level there. I'm going to go over to the left. Let's go to the left here and let's see what do we have. Actually, there's a good level right on here, guys, before we continue. Right over here, I know this is a little bit difficult to see, but 35.50, that's a good one there. Let's mark that down. And what do we have here? We have to have something up top. Is this? That's not all-time high. It's all-time high. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong here. Are we hitting all-time highs on AMC? No. Get out of here. This is insane. Wow, guys. All-time highs, really? So the last time we were up here before was 35.50. It is a good time to be a trader on AMC. All right, I am shocked, but yes, that is all-time highs. All right, good, guys. Nothing up there towards the bottom. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, just insane. All right, good. Here's BB, guys, another one that is really in play. 1408. High of the pre-market, the low of the pre-market on BB is going to be 1250. So we'll throw a level there, and then go here to the left. We got some madness obviously that happened here in back in January. We can pick off some levels here. Clearly, this one here, 2878. Towards the bottom here, you're not gonna find anything great because I wouldn't put too much weight on these type of levels. These levels are better, right? When you're getting a lot of hits on a specific price target. But we have 1546, and then we also have this one here. Looks good. You have a day opening and a closing right around that area. That is 1787. So pretty good stuff there. Right, so that's what we have on BB. Great pre-market action right now, guys. It's really very active. 16 up 16%. That is looking very good. Here's Riot, guys. Riot starts to get some volume here. Has not continued to do so. So I might end up dropping this one to a possible. Let's do that. We'll still do some levels for it. We'll be ready. But it doesn't look great right now. It started to. I thought it was going to get going here. And it's just kind of dying down a little bit. So high of the pre-market, so we'll be ready for it in case it picks up. 30.63 towards the bottom, guys. Plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days here after a beautiful consolidation. Hoping for a breakout here. Let's see if we can get that. A lot's going to depend, obviously, on what Bitcoin is doing. 32, another level there, and another great level here, supported by several opening and closings of some candles, is going to be 33.48. So plenty, 2 really good levels towards the top, and then plenty of levels towards the bottom. You don't need to add any more there. CCIV here, this one pre-market is looking good. The low of the pre-market is slightly above the previous day close, so we'll throw a level there just to have that in. That's going to be 21.69. High of the pre-market, I'm not going to mark down yet. I'm looking hopefully to get into the high of yesterday, so we'll leave that as is. Let's see if we can hit that there. And then towards the top, we do have 23, 32, and then all the way up here, guys, great area of resistance, 24, 25. So 2 really good levels towards the top here on CCIV. We have obviously hit that before in the past. We're setting up pretty nice this morning, up 3.5, some good volume after a beautiful breakout yesterday. We did not have this on the list yesterday, but hopefully you did or saw it on the scanners. Look at the area consolidation here for the last couple of days, and then the beautiful breakout yesterday. Can we get a continuation today's into the next level, 23, 32? OEG this morning, again, be careful on this one. Had already a big day yesterday. They're down 10.7. Stocks like this can tend to be choppy the first couple of minutes after the market opens, so be very patient if you're looking at this one. 852 high of the pre-market, 658 is the low of the pre-market on this one, and outside of that, I think you're pretty much covered. Let's get some levels towards the top here. Look at this ugly daily here. What's the float on this, by the way? Let's remind ourselves what the float is. OEG 41. So it's not a low flow stock, but man, it can trade very horrible when it has no volume. You can see that right on here. As far as levels, look at this 852. Obviously, you got a lot of touches on here. And then towards the top, maybe this one, I see a couple of touches there at a 950. Right, you have it here. The more touches you get, and also include opening and closing, right, of candles when you have a wick so high like this one, right? You can have both. You can have this one and you can have that one, right? Especially if you're getting more confirmation of a lot of hits, especially on that price target, right? So definitely put that on there at 950. All right, that looks good for OEG right now. Let's leave that as is. Towards the bottom, guys, pretty much cover highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. And then let's look at Envis this morning. How are we doing here? Pre-market continues to get better and better here. We have 1 million now, up 8.5, stalling a little bit off 1986, obviously, because that is an area of support and resistance right on here. Slightly above that, we do have a 2067. And then here, obviously, we got this one and all the way up here. Now, one of the things you can do is if you don't have no other daily, we have some more daily level stuff over here. We can mark this one and we can mark this one. I was going to say, if you don't have anything else in this area, right, that's a big gap. If you were trying to go from 25.53 out of the price action where it is now, you can go into the intraday action in these days here and see where you have some area of consolidation, like we did with AMC yesterday, right? If you look at AMC yesterday, guys, you go over here, you can see, you can tell 32 is obviously was an issue for AMC. Took a while to finally break out of that, right? And it did break out of that later in the after hours around 5:30, but you can tell this one was a good area. So sometimes when you don't have something good in the daily, you can dive into the intraday action on such a day like this one and see where you have some stalling happening or some resistance taking place. Right, that's Envis. Let's look at INO this morning, and then towards the bottom, guys, we pretty much cover right now. highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Look at this action we're getting here right now at 912. So that's good. Nice little bounce there of 1890. So let's see what takes place there. Neo right now. Neo, I do like the daily, guys. So Neo, possible breakout towards the bottom. You got plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. But I am going to mark down this one right on here. I think this one looks pretty good. If you draw a line right on there, you can see an area of resistance and support. That's going to be 41.21. So let's mark that down there in case we do decide to head down there. Low of the pre-market slightly above that 41.80. So we'll throw a level there as well. And then towards the top, we obviously have the highs from yesterday, which is a great area of resistance. We got this one on here, 43.08. Another level where you have tons of touches as well. And then right up here, right in this area, we got the next level of resistance, 44.46. So again, plenty of levels towards the bottom and the top, looking pretty clean on Neo this morning. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We move right down. So let's get rid of right. It's starting to do something here. Still, let's get rid of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is good, right? 1, 2, yeah, 6. That's perfect. We'll keep that for now. Let's take a look at our moderators lineup and see what they have this morning. Looking forward to see what our guys are looking at here today. Let's bring our visuals over. Here we go. And let me disable the video there, or else I'll drive you guys crazy with some mirror action. All right, we'll bring this over here, resize this, move that, and here we go. Okay, so moderators lineup this morning, guys. Let's take a look. We have Mike leading the way here. He is looking at BA and Zoom. Tiffany's looking at AMC, Neo, and BB. Aim is looking at Bank of America, Ford, Baidu, a secondary list, TME, BYND, NVIDIA, and KLA. Now, notice Eamon has none of the ones that are on our watch list because his style is very different. It's a great style, but it's different. So he's sticking to his style and watching the stuff that he knows he can trade very well with his strategy. So again, very nice to see that. Peter, no IPOs for this morning. Dima is looking at AMC, Ride, CCIV, and Apple. Peter's looking at AMD, AMC, Apple, and secondary list BB, TRY, and also Neo today. John is looking at Zoom. Zoom has a great, we have that on our possibles list. They have a great daily for a possible breakout. NVIDIA and AMC. Brian's looking at Becky, AMC, Riot, Neo, Bctx, and Zoom on his list this morning. So perfect, guys. We have a very good watch list. Hopefully things trade very clean this morning. Let's take a quick recap. We have AMC coming down a little bit here, still very strong, up 21%, 31 million, and at all-time highs, right, at 44.75. It's just madness. BB also very active pre-market action, not as clean as AMC. I prefer that one this morning. CCIV also very active pre-market action. I like the daily for a possible breakout here. We have OEG. OEG is okay, guys. Not one of my favorites on this list this morning. Envis is definitely looking very good also here this morning. And Neo, I do like Neo quite a bit as well. So that is our list, guys. Thank you so much over on YouTube for joining us this morning. Make sure you hit that thumbs up because it does help Norm and I drastically. So really appreciate that. Subscribe if it's your first time here so you can get alerted when we go live. We do this every Monday through Friday when the market is open. So guys, stay safe. Happy, what day is today? What are we, Thursday? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Trade safe, and we will see you tonight for the psychology webinar. Andrew's coming in with his buzzer beater list. Here is AMC, BB, meme stocks, and those meme stocks, and also CCIV this morning. So that is a very short list that he's watching this morning. It was
he only needs one, right?
Moving. You only need one, and we saw that. You saw that yesterday, right before the bell even opened. So agree 100%. All right, anything else that we're missing? Psychology webinar tonight at 8 p.m. Guys, do not miss that. And I think we're all set. Norm?
Nothing. Just we're sitting here watching AMC go back and forth. Should be an interesting day for sure.
It will. It sure will be. So, guys, take care of YouTube and a trade view. Trade safe. We'll see you tomorrow or tonight. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.
just after hours after buying. Oh, Mudrick made out like a bandit. That's a good question, Serge. Something like AMC is just purely momentum. I mean, there's no fundamental reason why it should be here, but that doesn't make any difference. And Andrew hates the word fundamental, so we can't use it in the room.
No F word in the room. We don't trade based on fundamentals. Don't never ever use F word.